You're watching a live view of our one and only moon. This view coming from a camera on the tip of one of Orion's 4 solar arrays. The spacecraft now 6,220 miles away from our closest celestial neighbor, traveling 507 miles per hour.
It's 5:47 a.m. November 21st, 2022. I just got this alert from NASA that they're flying by the moon right now with the Orion capsule from the Artemis program.
To top the SLS on November 16th at 1:47 a.m. Eastern Time. This is an uncrewed flight test. However, we do have some purposeful passengers on board. One of those is Munikin Campos, named after Arturo Campos, who was a valuable player during the Apollo 13 mission in Mission Control Houston.
Houston.
Commander Munikin Campos is a mannequin that will allow us to measure radiation, acceleration, and vibration data throughout the mission. The info gathered from him and the other 2 phantom mannequins, Helga and Zohar, will help us prepare for future crewed missions.
Like the Zohar from the Kabbalah's book of the Zohar? That's the Bible of Kabbalah, basically. Helga. She's the German story of Helga. They're not hiding anything with these symbolism. And here we're getting close to the moon. Well, this is live. This is officially NASA. Let me show you. It's official NASA video on YouTube. They said Zohar. They sure said Zohar. See, this is happening live. Let me just go. I just rewound it a little bit.
Entered the lunar sphere of influence yesterday at 2:09 p.m. Eastern Time. That means the moon instead of the Earth is the main gravitational force acting on the spacecraft. Additionally, this morning, Orion completed the 4th outbound trajectory correction burn. These are pre-planned burns to keep Orion on course throughout the mission, and that 4th burn was executed at 1:44 a.m. Eastern Time. We are targeting 7:44 a.m. for the outbound powered flyby.
Now this is part of the ritual, the moon ritual that we've been talking about on this channel for years. We recognized it when they had Aaliyah in her animation in 2001 for her Aaliyah album, and how she rockets up to the moon, and then when she lands back down, when she plummets back to the earth, she ends up at ground zero in the World Trade Center. And this was the same year as the 9/11 events in 2001. And she passed only weeks before 9/11. So we saw that. Yeah, so That's when we started realizing that this is an actual ritual, because in her little video, the little commercial, the Jap animation spot for her album, they show her fall through a ground zero structure, hole right in the middle of the 9/11 ground zero, which is where the plaza was, the Twin Towers. So this is confirmation, because when she goes through the black hole, she ends up at the UN, what looks like the UN, and she's being greeted by an audience who has the Black Power hands up in the audience. And she's standing on the stage, like where the UN General Assembly usually meets every September. So that to say, and that the moon phase, when she went up into the moon, when she was launched, it was the dying moon, the moon crescent at the end of the month. So right now we're looking at this moon today on November 21st, 2022. It's like in the AM morning, almost 6 o'clock AM Eastern time. And they want us to know, yes, they want us to know that there's a mannequin on this spacecraft of Orion who is the hunter. Okay, he's the hunter.
Now just 5,520 miles from the moon and approaching. Again, this is NASA.gov/transmission, and its location during the flight at any time. We continue to increase the velocity as well, now approaching 600 miles per hour. And at the time of the outbound powered flyby burn, we'll be traveling at 5,023 miles per hour. Outbound powered flyby burn will be executed 7:44 a.m. Eastern Time, 1 hour and 47 minutes from now.
What's gonna happen now? Gonna make it. So again, the mannequin, that is on this Orion, that they're telling us is there during this phase of the moon, which is also a dying moon. It's a waning crescent right now. Only days until the new moon. It's named Zohar. Now, let's see what the Zohar is.
Orion is now 5,335 miles away from the moon and continuing to grow closer, traveling 619 miles per hour.
Why is the whole moon illuminated right now? That's a question I have for NASA. When we're in the dying phase, like, where's all this light coming from? Looks like a full moon to me. I'm highlighting people's covers for Lift Me Up. This is Kayla Ray. Showing y'all everything that I'm doing.
Yeah, the moon, it'll be about her.
Let's see what she's saying.
Again, you're watching live coverage ahead of the outbound powered flyby burn as we prepare to make our closest approach to the moon. It'll be about 80 miles above the lunar surface. This is the second burn that will be executed this morning. The first occurred successfully at 1:44 a.m. Eastern Time. That was the OTC-4 burn, which stands for Outbound Trajectory Correction Burn, ensuring Orion is on the proper path for its future mission.
Really, at 1:44 a.m., like 144,000 at the New Jerusalem. This here is letting us know who's doing what. I've been wondering who's behind things, and I see now. This is based on biblical and mystical rituals from the Bible, the Zohar, and other things, because we have to find out who Helga is. Because one of the other mannequins is called Helga. But I just want to stay with them to see what they are going to do when they get 80 miles away from the moon. Just to check in, it is 6:05 a.m. on the Eastern Time, and we're looking right here on the screen. And they say this is live. So let's see if they have a chat. There's no chat. I don't see a chat. Okay, let's look at the description.
Again, you are watching live coverage ahead of the outbound powered flyby burn as we prepare to make our closest approach to the moon. It'll be about 80 miles above the lunar surface. This is the second burn that will be executed this morning. The first occurred successfully at 1:44 a.m. Eastern Time. That was the OTC-4 burn, which stands for Outbound Trajectory Correction Burn, ensuring Orion is on the proper path for its future mission.
Yeah, so let's look at the description that NASA gives here. It says 300,000 are watching. 30,000 are watching right now. It's 6:15 a.m. I keep telling you the time just so you can see this is live, and I want to hear the rituals as they happen. Watch as NASA's Orion spacecraft performs a close approach to the lunar surface on its way to the distant retrograde orbit, a highly stable orbit thousands of miles beyond the moon. During the Artemis 1 flight testes launched on November 16th, Orion will travel 2,800,000 miles. 28, keep that in mind for a second. 450,000 kilometers from the Earth, and 40 miles, which is 64,000 kilometers beyond the far side of the moon. So we're seeing a part of the moon you can't usually see, according to them. Carrying science and technology payloads to expand our understanding and lunar science technology developments. Deep space radiation. I'm just gonna make this bigger. Okay. Remember the 28,000, okay? See if they say anything else.
1,900 miles away from the moon. Again,
let's listen to that number again. Speak. You may speak, lady. You may speak now. She sounds really good.
A large distance change in the time that we've been on air, less than an hour now. We originally started at over 7,000 miles away from the moon. We're traveling at 684 miles per hour. And just to put it in perspective, we are now 233,190 miles away from Earth.
233? That was encoded.
This is all in preparation for the outbound powered flyby burn. That'll be at 7:44 a.m. Eastern, 1 hour and 34 minutes from now.
Okay, we'll be back.
Teams are tracking no issues ahead of the outbound powered flyby burn. This is the first of 2 maneuvers that will put us in the distant retrograde orbit beyond the moon.
Wow. Wait till I show you what these numbers are, because I'm just going to show you right now. I've been trying to keep track of, remember, we've been keeping track of the lotto numbers. I hope this is still working. My paint's not responding. We have technical difficulties. Please stand by. Now we have another group covering the song. Let's see who they are. Okay, you can see knee and cold cover. And while they sing, I'm going to be showing you the last Powerball numbers. And now they make even more sense, even though the Powerball was Saturday. The date was Saturday 11/19. Okay, so this is what I did. I did some research. I did some researching. And you'll see the numbers here are 7, 28, 62, 63, and 64. Now to have 3 consecutive numbers in the 60s, 62, 63, 64, consecutive, is very suspicious, okay? They're saying when they do these drawings, these balls are just randomly picked. But that doesn't seem very random. Neither of these numbers. If you look, the numbers, 28 in the Powerball or PB is 10. Remember what was released on October 28th?
You're looking at a view from nasa.gov/track Artemis, also known as ARROW, the Artemis real-time orbit website. You can log on at any time, day or night, and any phase of the mission, and check out what Orion is doing and where it is in relation to the moon and the Earth. You can see here we are now 4,722 miles from the moon and continuing to grow closer, traveling 715 miles per hour.
Okay, that was her cueing in some new information. So yeah, if you look at the date, it's the same date Rihanna's song and Jin's song came out, 10/28. Okay? Like we've been saying, I mean, this is all, we're trying to do this in real time just to show that it's not, when we're talking in present tense, but it's manifesting. You see the show Manifest. It's about takeoff of an airplane that was called Flight 828. Here we at the 28. Who passed away on 8/28? Chadwick Boseman of the Black Panther. He passed away in 2020.
Now less than an hour and a half until the outbound powered flyby burn. Again, this is a 2-minute and 30-second burn. It'll take place around the far side of the moon and commits Orion to entry into distant retrograde orbit. There's a second part that's necessary, the distant retrograde insertion burn. That'll happen on Friday, November 25th, and that'll put us in the proper distant retrograde orbit.
Yeah, that's the day after Thanksgiving. Just so happens everything is timed perfectly and everything's working perfectly for these people. It's just crazy.